Hi everybody, I'm here this afternoon with Silvia Del Corso of PinkSEO Marketing, who I've been trying to get to interview for some time because I admire her work. But before we go any further, Silvia, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
And can I ask you to start by just giving us a quick introduction to you and your work?
I'm an SEO specialist and I'm the director of a small search engine optimization agency, which is based in West London. It's called PinkSEO. And we do holistic SEO, which means that we are able to optimize websites from the technical and the content perspective. We've got a very strong technical background. And we thrive in competitive niches. So we've been doing this for 11 years. Previously in Italy, you can hear my accent. Apologies, I know it's strong. And yeah, that's something that I can get rid of. And yeah, we've been doing this for 11 years in Italy and then now here. And that's something that we're really, really passionate about.
Fantastic. So one of the things I've always admired, and just for people's information, Silvia and I are friends from LinkedIn. And one of the things I admired, and one of the reasons I wanted to interview Silvia, was because the approach that PinkSEO takes to search engine optimization is a bit different from what you see everywhere else. It's non-technical, so you don't need to know how to amend your HTML or set up microsites, all that stuff that I guess I don't know if they still do, but used to do. I think what we're going to hear are some tips that anybody, regardless of technical ability, can implement straight away, which is, I think, how it should be. So let's not listen to me anymore, Silvia. So we've got 5 tips for our audience. So are you ready to jump in with tip number 1?
I am. I try to select the most important ones, the ones that you can do on your own.
Fantastic.
And first of all, you need to know what people are searching for. So whatever you offer, be it a service or a product, there is someone who's searching for it on Google, even in this very moment. And you need to know which words they use. So you can't sometimes use your current type of jargon or language. You need to know how your prospective clients call what you offer. Try just searching on Google what you offer, and Google will automatically compile the search. So you will see how people search for it. And these are keywords, the words that people use the most. And that's already a very important first element that you need to know, how people call what you offer. And then you need to use those words in all of your pages. But make sure that you are expressing and presenting your services and your products using the precise words that people use the most, because Google needs to make a match between what people search for and what you offer, and you need to use the same language, basically.
So it's a really interesting point, because in the work I do around propositions, we teach the concept that you're not your own ideal customer. And a lot of people fall into that trap. They think this is something I would want, therefore the market must want it. And I think it sounds the same there, that this is how I think people might search for what I'm doing, but actually Google gives you the answer if you know how to go and look for it.
That's what we tell the clients sometimes. We tell, stand up and try sitting on the other side of the desk. So imagine that now you are the customer, and what would you search for? What would you do? And that completely shifts the mindset.
Yeah.
And if you start thinking, instead of what you want to say, what they want to search, well, you will see that things are very different. And even the pages that you create, you may want to create pages on your website, but if people don't search for that, it's a wasted opportunity. You need to.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I interrupted you. Sorry.
No. I just wanted to say that there is a demand which is out there, and you basically just have to provide the offer.
Yeah, no, I can see that. The question I was going to ask was, before we go on, it might be worth just saying a few words. How important is Google in search versus the rest?
Nowadays, it's basically the most important. I mean, people still use others. They still use Bing, and in other countries, they've got their own search engines like Baidu if you're in China, but most of the world uses Google, and nowadays all of these search engines have more or less the same type of functioning and structure. So if you optimize your website and you get a very good ranking on Google, you can just expect that the same will happen.
Okay, so it's all about Google.
Yeah, nowadays it's the most important one that you need to think.
Okay, so make sure you know what your customers are searching for, not what you think you want to search for. Fantastic. So that brings us on to tip number 2.
Yep. Tip number 2, we were talking about keywords. Now, keywords is better said maybe if we say key phrases, because if you only optimize and target for one single word, it becomes extremely difficult for you because you are not really getting the precise meaning of what you want to say. Let me give you an example. You want to sell white tennis shoes. If you get that page, if you want that page to be found for shoes, that's so general. It can be the history of the shoes in the world, wedding shoes, tennis shoes. Try adding more elements. It's called the long tail keyword. So you add you lengthen the tail and it becomes white shoes. Then you eliminated the history of the shoes and the shoes in the world, but you still may be confused. White shoes, are they tennis or are they wedding shoes? So now you add more elements and it becomes white tennis shoes, and then you add more elements and it becomes white tennis shoes of a certain brand. Can you see how more refined the search intent becomes? And you're eliminating a lot of competitors because SEO is the most competitive thing that you can do. You only have 10 positions to rank for on the first page, and you have billions of competitors. So it's like a race. You want to eliminate a little bit of competitors to have more chances of winning. So you don't want to compete with wedding shoes. You only want to really compete with the ones that you want to outrank. It's easier to win this way.
So it's almost a bit like sort of choosing a niche or targeting. You want to end up with a phrase where you're really the only person left standing, or you and 1 or 2 competitors are the only ones left standing.
Yeah, and when the search intent is so precise, you can consider that people are more advanced even in the funnel of the acquisition. So basically, when they're searching something so precisely, they basically have their credit card next to the mouse. They're ready to purchase. They really want you, and when they find you, you're the best match. The most precise it is, you are narrowing your niche. But it's a better niche. It's a very targeted audience then.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. No, I like that. That chimes with quite a lot of the stuff I do around niche and being very targeted. Okay. So we want to talk about the words our customers use, not the words we use, and we want to make our search words into phrases so that we eliminate lots of competition and make it as targeted to what we're actually trying to be found for as we can. Fantastic. So far, love it. What's the third tip, Silvia?
We were talking about competition. Now, something that sometimes is not so clear is who is this competition. So something that you as a business owner must be extremely aware is who are your real competitors. And you can do your competitor research on your own just by searching what you do and who you've found and who are the top 10 ranking. So you get to understand who you are fighting against in terms of outranking, but also you will understand which are their strengths and their weaknesses. So you can see their websites, you can see how they present their stuff, how you differentiate from them, where is your uniqueness, and what they don't include in their sites. And that's where you can really stand out.
So if you went to somebody else's website and you wanted to see the words that they were optimizing that site for on Google, could you find that information?
Well, basically, when you start searching for a website, when you find a website, you will straight away see how the pages are structured. And if the pages have been optimized, you will see that the keywords, the things that they really want to stress out and to be found for, they need to be in their titles, they need to be in very prominent positions, and that's where you as a business owner need to put your keywords. So you can expect to do this kind of reverse engineering. You know where you should put your keywords, and you can start investigating a little bit your competitor sites and see how they are structuring their pages. So which are their titles, how long is their content, which type of content are they using, is it more videos, is it more graphics or longer pieces of content, and you know that you need to compete with them. So if their content is very long, you most probably will have to do the same. So you need to basically be better than them.
Okay, got it. So understanding what your competitors are doing and making sure that you're doing it better, and you can find out what your competitors are doing by searching on them, going to their site and seeing how they structure their pages and where they're seeding all of their keywords.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that makes
They're
totally
doing the
sense.
job for you. Brilliant. Okay, so that's number 3. What's number 4?
Number 4, well, we are talking about content. One tip that I would like business owners to keep in mind is that a static website is very difficult to rank for, because just to let you understand how Google works, if you consider that there are those programs, the crawler bots, they continuously crawl the internet. And when they find a website, they will immediately check if the copy that they find today matches the copy that they saved in that massive library that is the index. It's the database of all the websites of the world, just imagine. So if the copy they find today matches precisely the copy that's stored there, they will just move over to the next site. If instead they find that the copy they find today is different because you added something new, a new article, you updated your content, then the copy doesn't match and they will recrawl the entire site. And the copy that's there will be listed as last updated 26th of June or whenever the day. And all things being equal, a site that's been updated more recently is a good positive signal of quality, because it's a website that contains fresher information, and Google will rank it better. So that's why you should keep your website active and create up-to-date content, revise the previously written content. If you wrote a lot of stuff and then you forgot about it, you may have a gold mine that's just taken dust. So you need to check it and update it and make sure it's still valid.
And how often should we be updating the content on our website?
It depends how often your industry changes, what regards updating existing content. If you know that some of the things may not be valid anymore, then it's definitely worth to make everything very professional, because you don't want people to find your content and it's still featuring old dates or old information. You want to always look very professional and polished. What regards creating new content, adding new articles, new blogs, that's entirely up to you and what you can do. The most you produce, the most opportunities you have to be found, because with SEO, particularly if you try to optimize and use your keywords right, every piece of content that you create is like a landing page. It's like one more street that you add to your shop. One more possibility to be intercepting somebody's search. Someone is searching for something and you've got the answer to what they do. So it's up to you. The more you can create, the better the possibilities to find someone who wants you.
And so things like blogs and articles, they count towards it. So that's an obvious place.
That's precisely, yeah. That's
I guess that the high ranking, because you've got dynamic changing content, would explain why the big LinkedIn, Facebook, Wikipedia, those kind of sites always appear near the top of the rankings, because that stuff's changing millions of times an hour probably.
Yes, and there is another massive reason for them, and it's that those domains have an incredible authority and trust for Google. Not all domains have the same importance for Google. The more endorsed, the more popular a domain is, the more Google will trust it and rank it high. So
Okay.
a new domain that's just been launched, Google will be a little bit skeptical and will just want to see how it goes, if they are really qualitative and creating content, and if people have got a good user experience, because they can track this now. There is a little bit of artificial intelligence in the algorithm now, which is machine learning, and it learns from our interactions with the site. So if people check more pages, if people spend more time on a site, Google can track it. And they say, good, this is a good site, I want to rank it better. If
Okay.
instead people just abandon the site straight away, they will understand it's a negative signal. I shouldn't be ranking it so well. Let me demote it a little bit. So user experience, having a lot of links from other websites, endorsements, that matters a lot. And these big players, they've got all of this and
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah. No, understood. Okay. So I think so. What I'm hearing there is it's important to keep our content up to date and fresh and dynamic, because Google will rank us more highly because of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Okay. Okay. Which brings us on to number 5.
Yep. Number 5, we are talking about links, and I just briefly mentioned links as endorsements that you get from other websites. Links are the streets on which the crawler bots will move, and your site needs to be solidly connected with other websites. So make sure that if you've got business relationships with some other business, your site is linked to them as well. You can have a guest blogging in which they link to your site, and they're all ways in which your site is getting a vote of trust from other websites. And Google, again, has got a tough job to do to choose the best 10 sites among all the ones existing. And if they see that your site is being voted in terms of linked by other websites, meaning they're high qualitative websites, not spammy, sketchy websites. If they're good websites and they're linking to yours, for Google, these are all positive signals of endorsement, and they will want to rank your site better than the others.
Okay. And is it acceptable to set up some of your own websites and link them back to your main website?
This is something extremely common, and many business owners do this. You need just to be careful and make sure that you have a very varied number of links, not all coming from the same domains, which are yours, but they need to come from different domains, possibly all within the niche, so it seems more relevant. But it's also an opportunity for you to really connect with somebody else. It's part of your networking, of your business relationships. It's a way of showing that you are connected, and you can get referral traffic from their websites. Generally, people really are happy to publish guest blogs because you are giving them free content, basically. And if you ask somebody, would you publish an article from me linking back to my site? They would say, yeah, I got something more, something fresh to publish. And it's a way their audience can discover you. So it helps growing your brand awareness and to widen up your audience.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing there is that you need not only to have your keywords in your own URLs, but you also want people linking from other sites back to you, because that gives. There used to be a term called link juice. Is that still a term in the industry? So
well, it's not so precisely calculated. There used to be equations. I've been doing this for 11 years, so I've seen all the change in the algorithm and all the updates, the measure updates, and all the earthquakes, but there used to be literally numeric formulas to calculate this. Now this is not possible to be calculated so precisely, but it still matters. If you consider in terms of domain authority and domain trust, the more links you get, every time somebody links to you, it is as if they were giving you a token of trust. And the more you grow that, the more your site will be important in Google's eyes. And the same happens when you give this token of trust to somebody else. You maybe lose a little bit, but you create a good connection with somebody else. So in the end, it is also good to be creating outbound links, so linking out to others.
Okay, just a question. If it's certainly in the WordPress world, there are lots of plugins you can use to optimize. Do you recommend those? They seem like an easy way of doing it.
Well, there are some plugins that you could use and should use. For example, Yoast, which is the most popular plugin, even in the free version, can be very. No, Yoast. It's called like roast, you know, the Sunday roast, but with a Y.
Okay.
Y-O-A-S-T. And it's the most popular that you can use. And I can say that many people just do SEO by doing that, which is not all of SEO, but for you as a non-tech, it is what it takes, because it works in a very visual way, like a traffic light, red, yellow, or green. And when it's red, you first need to decide which keyword you want that page to be found for, which is the most strategic decision of all, because not all keywords are born equal, and that's where a professional can help you to find the lower hanging fruit, the one that's really giving you the best revenue. But once you identify that keyword, then it gives you a very visual idea of where, if you forgot to put it somewhere, how you can improve, what else you can do, or when you've done all of your things. Good job. That's it.
Okay.
Another plugin that's important to try and use is redirection, because if you change your URL, because you change the page, you may create broken links.
Right.
So that is something that if you create a redirection, you're telling, I move this resource from here to there, and you can find it straight away. You don't have to see the 404 error, page not found, which is so ugly, unprofessional, and Google really does not like that at all.
Okay, got it. Got it. Lots of information there. Fantastic. I tell you what would be a good way to summarize would be, could you just quickly run us through those 5 tips in 20 seconds?
Well, remember to know what people search for. So
Yep.
what language they use, and use the same language. Don't make that language too general. Make it very precise. So pinpoint their search and interest in the most defined way, using longer keywords. They are more descriptive. Be aware of who your competitors are, and know their strengths and their weaknesses, and know who you're fighting against, how big they are. And make sure that your site is not static. Keep it active, keep it updated, add new things, and keep it always polished and up to date. And the final thing is make sure that your site is well connected with the other websites by links within the site, internal, external links. Make sure that it is solid and strong.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I've learned a lot. That's really been useful. So finally, Silvia, where can people find you? If I'm sure there's going to be people out there who you've whetted their appetite to do something about SEO, and they're going to need some help. How can they find you?
Well, PinkSEO.marketing is the domain. Our website can be found that way, and you can find us on all of the social media, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. My profile, Silvia Del Corso, and then Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. There is a YouTube channel. If you're curious to learn more, if you search on YouTube PinkSEO marketing, I have created like 30 videos with free training. online information, and it's all very basic like this because it's for people who don't have a technical knowledge. So there is nothing too scary. It's all very basic and easy.
Fantastic. So the main website is pinkseo.marketing.
Yes.
And then you've got a YouTube channel, which is the same name, PinkSEO.
Yes. You just search on YouTube PinkSEO marketing.
Fantastic.
And you will find us.
And all the other contact details, are email and phone and stuff, are on the PinkSEO.marketing website.
All of them.
Brilliant. Silvia, that's been really useful, really very interesting. I have to be honest and say I haven't spent as much time as I should optimizing my website, but I've learned a lot there. So I think if everyone else has learned as much as me, that's been a really valuable 20 minutes or so. So thank you very much indeed for coming along this afternoon and sharing what sounds like your huge depth of talent and domain knowledge. We're all really grateful. So on that note,
for giving me this opportunity. I love to talk about these topics, as you may have seen.
I think I can see why. You should. You've got a lot of knowledge. So on behalf of everybody, Silvia, thank you very much indeed. We're very grateful, and I guess all that's left to say is goodbye for now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, really. Take care.